What is up, everyone? How are you guys doing? Hope you're having a lovely Memorial Day. Just wanted to hop on here, say thank you for all the support throughout the years, and just answer any questions you may have. Any updates or anything you want to know. Let me know how I'm sounding and everything. Haven't live streamed in a while, but some of you probably remember when I did it every single Monday, and it's completely changed here on YouTube, so it's a bit different now. But feel free, let me know. Give me a thumbs up or something in the comment there, and then any questions you guys may have. I also have stuff coming in from Patreon and any members, so shout out to you guys for your not only viewership but financial contributions to the channel, because that's obviously makes a lot of this function. So appreciate it. Okay, there we are. Hey guys, sound is good. Okay, cool. I know sometimes there's a delay and some weird stuff happening, but here we are. What's up, Lightning? What's up, Earth? What's up, Hans? Sleeve Dog, DJ Addy. How are you guys? Hi from Italy. Eduardo, ¿cómo estás? ¿Sientes bien? Derek, Max, JC, Ginger Black. Hola. How do you say? God, I'm such an idiot. How do you say hello in Italian? Tell me. Giuseppe, how are you? It's funny because sometimes Italian will come on and it sounds so similar to Spanish to me. I mean, I know a lot of the words and everything. The accent is obviously way different, but it sounds so similar that I almost feel like I could understand it quite a bit, but maybe not. So, and if you guys are wondering why I would be able to do that, it's because I started taking Spanish lessons here in San Diego about 5 years ago, because I live 10 minutes from the Mexican border where Tijuana is, and me and my family go there, I don't know, somewhat often, I guess, like maybe once a month or a couple times a month. The food, it's weird. Tijuana, you probably have a perception of what it is, but it's this really bizarre place where you have this like kind of dirt poor homeless type thing happening all around, and then these beautiful restaurants and places kind of like diamonds in the rough. And then if you go south of there about 2 hours, you hit Valle de Guadalupe, which is like this beautiful wine country and probably the best food I've ever had in the world outside of Tulum or in Paris. So anyways, gracias, Eduardo. Yeah, my professor is from Colombia, so I don't know if I have a Colombian accent. All my friends from Spain say I sound Mexican, which makes sense because a lot of my friends that I speak Spanish with are Mexican from here, and we speak this like really messed up Spanglish kind of thing. So it's kind of funny. What's up, Epic LBP time? How are you? Ciao. Oh yeah, ciao is hi and bye. See, so ciao is to me how you say bye, because again, my professor is Colombian, so it's different. Like you say ciao, bye, or we usually say que chévere for things and all that. It's kind of different, but it's fun. So, all right, enough about me rambling about speaking Spanish. Let's see. Do you guys have any questions? Shabam Burmam asks, why are the captions so accurate? Well, the captions in my videos, I pay for this service called rev.com, and the rev.com thing is a human that translates it. So it's an actual, like, I pay, it's per minute. I think it's like $1.25 or something. And so if I put out a 13-minute video, I'm paying, I don't know, $15 or something like that for this video, for the transcription to be done by a human instead of by the automated one. So hopefully it's better. And then I can actually take that and do other things with it, like translate it to other languages, post on other things and all that. I'm trying to post. I've got several folks from China emailing me asking about this thing called Billy. I forget how to say it. It's something like that, and it's like basically the Chinese version of YouTube, because my understanding is they don't have YouTube over there. It's blocked. But anyways, we were trying to like put my videos over there. ¿Cómo estás de Montreal, Jean-Pierre? See, so French is a total mess up for me because in French, people you only pronounce like half of the word. It's hard for me to understand or to do that one. Lightning Rod asks, what will happen first, 1,000-mile battery or instant charging? Well, the 1,000-mile battery just is a factor of capacity, so you could do that right now. I had this vision of doing a thing with the semi-truck where we made a trailer out of batteries, or maybe it's not strong enough for the right idea, but you took a 53-foot trailer and put nothing but Model 3 battery modules on it. And with that, you could go something like 7,000 miles on a charge. So there you go. John Scarce for president. What phone do you daily drive? I currently have the OnePlus 8 Pro. I'm a big fan of OnePlus, their OS, things, the little touches like Zen mode, I love. They finally have decent cameras. The selfie camera still has a lot to be desired, but the rest of it are good. So for me, that's super important because with this job, I'll, take video of something. So I'll, need my phone to be usable. So that's kind of there. So that's for me, my current daily driver. I had Samsung for a while and it just was bloated and I hated the software and it didn't function very well. Google phones have always been super buggy and crashy, like things just don't work on them. And iPhones, to me, it's just I hate the vendor lock-in thing. I've never been an Apple fan, really. But I did use MacBooks or Apple computers, the actual hardware of the computer, which I think is fantastic, for about 7 or 8 years. I'm a dinosaur, so, that's not that long. All right, let's see what other questions you guys had here. Tesla plan in India. Yeah, that's a great one. I don't know what the plan is for Tesla in India. I believe there were talks a while ago, but the government was approving it, but I haven't heard anything in a while. So, yeah, when will Tesla come to India? I don't know. I think it's a good question. I think there's a huge market there. So, I mean, obviously there's a gazillion people. So, yeah, it makes sense, but I'm not sure how that all works in terms of the logistics. So, all right. Epic LBP time. Do you know what a Model 3 Performance Stealth is? It is faster than a normal Model 3 Performance? I have no idea. It sounds like something my friends at Unplugged Performance would make. It sounds, like some modifications they might do that would give it better range or something like that. I don't really know. JC Denton, did you try the infrared camera? Yeah, I've tried that. So if you guys aren't familiar, this phone has, it's not an infrared camera. It's like a color. I guess it's an infrared camera, but it's like this color thing that you can do, and you can point it at plastics and things, and they appear translucent. Like you can see through them, and you can also see through certain clothes. Which is funny. Lou from Unbox Therapy did this thing where he showed how it works, and he brought up this old article from the 90s when the Sony Handycam would do it, and I remember when the Sony Handycam would do it. So yeah, it's kind of crazy. So, all right, let's pick another question here. Max Melizia, would you rather have a Model 3 or Model Y? Well, that's an easy answer for me. I would rather have the Model Y. In fact, I'm selling my Model 3, and my Model Y was supposed to be here Saturday, but it should be here tomorrow. So hopefully I'll have a delivery video for you guys out soon. Tell us, Mars, you have inside when battery day is? No, actually. I've talked to a lot of my friends, folks that work at Tesla, and they don't even know. My understanding is basically they want it to be an in-person event, so you're going to need people to join or people to be able and comfortable going there. So, Andrew Masters, thank you for the super chat. Says, congrats, dude. Did you feel restricted by the Teslanomics branding? Have you noticed much of a traffic change with the name content adjustment? Yeah, this is a great question. So, I saw some questions actually there that I didn't know I changed the name. So yeah, there's that. It's really bizarre. So April was this weird month, and literally, actually, it was even before that. So what I saw on the channel was the day that Trump announced a national emergency for COVID, the views just took a dive. And it was crazy. I think April was down like 80 or 90% versus normal. I was averaging, I think, around 1.4, 1.5 million views coming in. And then I think in April, if I remember, it was like 300,000 or 400,000 views. Just, it's still whatever, but that's a huge drop. And the message that YouTube analytics, which is super good now, I really love these little insights that they pop up. The message I kept seeing that was interesting was it said, your subscribers are watching this, but other people that are not subscribed are choosing not to watch it. And that is super telling because I think at the time 75 or more % of views on the channel were from non-subscribers. And so with that, what it meant to me was, okay, well, yeah, COVID is dominating here. And then after a few videos in a row that people who aren't subscribed aren't picking it, YouTube will start to not send them those videos anymore. So yeah, I saw a huge drop, but then the last couple videos, they're still low, but they're coming back, and you can see the click-through rates and all those things are healthy again. Also, I've been adjusting how some of the content works. If you guys have noticed, like at the very end of a video, before I really like get into the end, I'm like calling out to click through onto another video that's related. That has upped the end screen click-through rate tremendous. I think my average was like 1% before. Now it's like 5 or 6. And some of those videos, like videos typically for me would have a huge spike immediately and then just die. There may be like it spikes and then it comes back the next day, but that's about it. Then eventually, what some of these videos now, because that end screen click-through rate is so good, it appears that YouTube is continuing to recommend them. So some of the older videos that basically didn't do anything in April are coming back and actually getting above average views. So it's cool to see. I did hire a producer not too long ago, and she's been a tremendous help organizing and kind of strategizing all this stuff, trying to make sure that we're just doing what we can to reach the most people and help everyone, you know, because the whole point of this is to show people that, you know, electric cars, home batteries, solar panels, this more kind of sustainable or green lifestyle, if you want to call it that, is not out of reach. It's something that you can literally do. So yeah, so that was the idea. The name change came a little bit after I already saw this massive thing, and it's something I'd been pondering for a while. I definitely do feel like it limited me a little bit. I would still do other videos. Like if you guys remember, I did the Ford Mach-E event and then the Porsche Taycan. And both of those videos did well. They seemed to be very well received. But there were definitely some people in the comments there saying like, what the hell is this? You're the Tesla guy. You're only allowed to talk about Tesla. And I just think as we've evolved in electric cars and other things, I mean, home batteries, it's still pretty much all Tesla. But when it comes to electric cars, there are a lot of companies doing really cool things. And it felt a little, you know, weird having a name, having Tesla in the brand name. And so, yeah, so that's why I dropped it. Really, the content strategy hasn't changed much other than I'm more interested in doing other topics as well, things that are also related that aren't, you know, $80,000 electric cars. So there you go. Thanks for the question, Andrew. Yeah, it's an interesting topic. So, all right, let's see what else you got. Let me check Patreon real quick. I know Patreon doesn't get a ton of engagement. It's kind of an odd platform, honestly. I'm not sure I love it, but okay, cool. So let's see what else we got here. A Wooden 18, thanks for the super chat. Let's see what else we got. Earth Engineer, are you folding at home? I don't know what you mean by folding. Folding clothes, sure. Harshit Singla, when is your wife starting her own channel? We actually have her channel. Let me drop a link to that. Let me see, YouTube. I have to like find it because it doesn't even come up in search yet. We filmed 2 videos for Jenny. Is this it? No. Okay. Jennifer J? No. Man, okay, hold on. Let me see if I can find it for you guys. See if I change the account that I'm listed in. Okay. No subscribers. See if I change the account, it'll like kick me out of the live stream, which I don't want to do. So anyways, it's coming. I'll share it with you guys. It's about interior design, so probably a lot of you aren't going to be interested in it, but I definitely will share it. Yeah, she's starting to do that now. We've been working on a lot of projects. You know, the stuff she does takes a long time, so you have to actually like do this massive project that takes weeks. And you know, we're trying to balance this. I give her a couple days a week. Like I don't work 5 days a week, or I do, but I kind of stagger them so that way she has a couple days, so that way we can alternate watching the kids. It's kind of hard to do, but you know, that's where we're at. And so yeah, hopefully you guys, you know, will be launching that soon. I think there's a couple changes on the first video, and the second video we got to shoot the A roll for it. Corey, EVnomics. Yeah, you know, with the channel name, I thought about that, but there's so much more to EVs in this sustainable tech world, so I didn't want to again pigeonhole myself again into a specific thing. So, I mean, in really like the thing that's beautiful about YouTube, the thing the reason why I love doing it and why I continue to do it, why I even choose to do it, is because of this kind of real relationship that we get to have. Like, for example, and maybe I'm missing some details here, but I know John Krasinski with his Some Good News channel just sold it to CBS. Someone else is going to be hosting it. Like, that's just terrible to me. I hate that so much, because the reason his show was so good is because it was him, first off, because it was shot on iPhones, and it was just like real and authentic. And that's what I think what is the most, for me, is what is the most compelling thing. And YouTube just dominates that. You know, even Instagram, I find, is this complete fake plagiarized mess. It's like terrible. I hate Instagram. And, you know, YouTube is the only place where I find you, maybe not the only place, but one of the few places where you can really like have a connection with someone. So I didn't want to have like a show and have a business and have a company. Like, that's not at all where I want to go with things. My focus is being me, exploring this stuff, sharing with you, hopefully, you know, guiding you guys towards more sustainable ways of living. So that's it. All right. Let's find another question. Oh, Folding Home is a distributed computing project where people donate computing power from their PCs to help scientists run simulations of folding proteins. Yeah, I feel like I remember that in like the early 2000s. I didn't know that was still around. Cool. All right. Sustainonomics. Do you guys, did I ever explain where the name Teslanomics came from? I think maybe I did one time, but one of my favorite podcasts, probably my favorite podcast, is Freakonomics. And if you've never seen that, it's Stephen Dubner and Stephen Levitt, and mostly Stephen Dubner, interviewing people about what they call exploring the hidden side of everything. And it's amazing. And it's just the most insightful thing. And in that viewpoint of looking at the world through data, I kind of consider it analytics, but the way they do it is economics, is just so great. Like, it's just amazing. And it opens up my eyes to all these crazy things. So for me, after I started doing Tesla videos, that was kind of the idea, was that, oh, well, I don't come at it from a car guy perspective. In fact, I'm going to probably make some shirts that say like cars suck and things like that. So I came at it from my analytical or economical view. And so that's where the name came from. It was kind of a riff on Freakonomics with my focus on Tesla stuff and my background using data to look at things. So Juan Carlos Hinojo. Would you rather choose technology over sustainability or vice versa if you had to pick one? I'm not sure what you mean, choose technology over sustainability. You know, yeah, I mean, to me, they go hand in hand. Like, everything is some form of technology, even if it's like technology has got conflated with digital technology. And so, yeah, that I think is kind of bizarre. Like, recently I've been getting into gardening. I have a friend, Kevin, who has this amazing channel called Epic Gardening. And at my house, you know, we're trying to think, oh, can we grow more of our food? Can we go to the grocery store less? Like, not only save money, but also just live on our own, you know, land. And we don't have a lot of space here. We're in San Diego. Obviously, real estate prices are crazy. So it was just a thing. And so we, looking at it, it was one of those things where there's tons of technology in there, but it's not digital at all. Like, you can take a PVC pipe and run a water pump through it, and all of a sudden you have this way to grow this vertical tower of farming stuff, and it's super advanced technology, but it's not like a selfie app or something dumb like that. So I don't know. It's an interesting question. Maybe expand on it more, and I can try to answer it there. But like, would I just review tech stuff for the sake of tech stuff? maybe, but it's funny. So I've been working in tech. I mean, my first job in technology, which was, I think I was a barista. No, I was a bagger at a grocery store, and I quit after 2 weeks. And then I was a barista. Well, I didn't start as a barista, but I was a barista at a coffee shop eventually for a few years while I was in high school. And then I got a job at MCI, which is no longer. It was a phone company at the time, the kind of one of the biggest tech companies in the world. It was called MCI WorldCom. And then I was there for 4 years on and off because we had this like WorldCom scandal thing. I got laid off. I came back, whatever. That was my job in tech. That's when I started in tech. And that was like late 97, 98, I think. I forget when it was. Yeah, it was something like it was late 98, 99. So that's when I started my career in tech. And about 6 months in, I found my job as basically looking at Excel spreadsheets, making sense of data from VAX terminals, AS400 systems, like writing scripts to do things in there. Actually, at the time, creating real-time analytics to help us manage call volumes into this massive call center. So I really found my niche in data when I was like 17 years old because I graduated high school early. So it was weird. So I've been working in tech since then, right, until like 3 years ago when I left. But generally, technology today, to me, like phones and stuff, laptops, it's all boring as hell. Like, it's not at all something that I find interesting. So definitely not something I foresee doing. Now, certain tech that is above and beyond, like this is why I have this fascination with Tesla, is because they're doing something physical in the real world. Like self-driving cars, the amount of tech or whatever you want to call it that's involved to make that a reality just greatly surpasses every other major tech company out there by like miles. And then things like, not that it's on par with that, but like the hydro panels, which generate water from air, all completely self-powered and completely like sustained on their own. That to me is magical. Like that is really cool. Or even like home batteries. Like I love tech that actually augments our life. I don't like give a crap about, oh, there's a fancier new, it has 12.8 megapixels versus 12.2. You better spend $1,000. Like to me, that's just stupid. I'm just not interested in that side of tech at all. But it's probably because I grew up in this field of tech. I mean, I remember watching the iPhone launch, streaming while I was on a bus. I did this thing when I lived in Arizona where I didn't drive a car for a year. I just took public transportation, and I was streaming that unveiling event. I don't think it was live streamed. It was like after the fact from an HTC Dash phone running Windows Mobile, or what is it, Windows CE 3.1 or something like that. And you had to plug it in to tether it. So that way I had my laptop tethered to this on the bus watching that. And then here everyone is freaking out about the iPhone. And I'm like, that thing has nothing on the current tech I already have. So it's been a really weird evolution to watch tech grow up as like a mainstream topic. But so much of it to me still seems very surface level that it's just not that compelling. I'm really more interested in like grid scale battery backup solutions, honestly. Things that are like really changing our lives in ways that affect everyone, not just people that can spend, $1,500 on a phone. So big long rant there for you. Thanks for that. Okay. So let me see if we have any more Patreon questions, because I promised them I would do that. Okay. Justin asks, Ben, are you planning to deep dive again into the ramifications of bidirectional charging? Ooh. Seems like a hidden cash stream for Tesla and owners and impact on the grid. Okay, so thank you for the question, Justin, and thank you again for all the patronage and support and everything. So if you guys didn't see, there was Electric reported it. Someone did a breakdown and of I think the Model 3 charger, which, remember, the charger for your car is built into it. The thing you have on your wall is just like a safety switch. And so the charging actually happens in the car. And so they found that it has the capability to send energy both ways. And the reason that's important is because your battery is stored DC energy. So when it comes out of there, it has to be converted to AC energy for your home to use it. Just like when you have solar panels, you have to have an inverter that converts it from DC to AC. Otherwise, it doesn't really function for you. Unless someone's figured out how to do that. That'd be really cool. But anyways, so with, let's say, assuming it's only Model 3 or maybe Model S and X and 3 in the past couple of years, we're talking 600,000 cars out there times 70 kilowatt hours on average, or maybe more. You're talking a tremendous amount of energy that could be fed back to the grid, that could power people's homes. If this is possible, this is known as vehicle to grid or vehicle to home charging. That would be tremendous. Now, I would like to go deeper into that, but I actually have a video coming out tomorrow that is basically this exact concept, but with power walls. So there are, if you Google Tesla connected solutions, there are, I think, 4 areas. It's like different providers in Massachusetts, Connecticut, and Rhode Island that are doing this now, where they can tap into your power wall and then they will pay you money for doing so. So you can literally get a check, like dollars in your bank account for owning a power wall, which is amazing. And the way it works is like Tesla has the agreement with the utility. They handle all the kind of back and forth and how it works. And then all the people that own power walls are like, little mini shareholders in Tesla as a utility. So it's kind of mind-blowing how that works. And if they could flip that on for cars, that would just be like through the roof, like wild. Because it literally, now there still has to be a lot of paperwork that has to be done with the utilities, but that could totally be something that would work, I think, down the road. So I would be thrilled to see if that's possible. So yeah, thanks for the question, Justin. I mean, that's like literally a huge, like beyond game-changing thing for them and the utilities and the grid and everything, if it's true and if they come to those agreements or whatever. So thanks for the question. Mike D, thanks for the super chat. You ask, is there any new info in residential geothermal energy? Enjoyed the last video. If you're talking about the last video I did on geothermal, cool. I haven't heard anything new from them. It was Dandelion Energy. And the challenge with that was that they're operating only in like one zip code in New York right now, I think. But yeah, these guys, so if you guys haven't seen that, go search on the channel Geothermal or Dandelion Energy, and you should be able to find them. And the cool thing there is that they are based. So geothermal, if you guys aren't familiar, I forget how far it is. Someone correct me if I'm with this, but I think it's like after 30 meters or something below the surface of the Earth, the temperature is always is like a constant. I don't remember what it is, like 60 degrees or something like that. And so with that, what they do is they run these pipes down, and it's like insanely far, like 100 meters or more or something, and they just run water through it. And that basically, whatever temperature it is above, let's say it's super hot out or it's super cold out, you take that water, you put it in, and then it comes out this perfect temperature. So that acts as your heating and cooling. And it just kind of gives you this perfect temperature, and then you can run that through a fan and cool or heat the air, et cetera, et cetera. So obviously there's lots of details and things I don't know there, but that's the general concept. Is you use the Earth's natural perfect temperature to heat and cool your home, and you can power that thing with solar. You can have power walls to back it up, whatever, and it's just really awesome. So the founder of that, she was at Google X, the like a moonshot division of Google, and then this was such a good, it like wasn't a moonshot if I recall correctly, and so she actually left there to be the CEO founder of this company. So it's a really cool thing. I haven't heard anything since. I really do think that can serve a lot of people well. Not everywhere does it make sense, but clearly, and I actually have a family up in Montana that has it, so it's pretty neat. So, all right, thank you for the question. Let me pick one here. I don't see any members in the chat, so I'm going to just find whatever one. Okay, Maximus Strength. Hi, Ben. I have a reservation for the Model Y. Rear-wheel drive. It's almost June and still no news. If they'll build it, should I cancel? I don't know. It's up to you. I was in the same boat, and I just got word. I mean, the factory was shut down, so there was a lot of that, right? And so I remember asking everyone I knew at Tesla, "Hey, what's up? Where's my car?" And that's what I heard. So, and they just got mine recently. So I think, I don't know when you ordered. I don't know where you're located. There's a lot of details there that determine that. But it sounds like things are up and running again, and so they should be coming out. They should be delivering a lot more soon. So, Hmm. RJ8U, what's your take on Tesla FSD worth 8,000? Did they officially upgrade it, or did they officially increase the price? Let me see. Because in my Model 3, it has the upgrade option, and it was so I have. It's funny. So I'm selling my Model 3. People don't understand the iterations that Tesla's gone through in this, but I have what's called enhanced autopilot. So I actually have a bunch of the full self-driving features, but not all of them. So then, if you want the FSD upgrade for me, it's a different price than if you just were to buy it outright because cars now come with autopilot. Yeah, it still shows 4,000 on mine. Yeah, it's funny because it says all these things come with it, but I already have a lot of those. Is it worth it? So full self driving to me, I'm very skeptical that this will hit Elon's time target at all. Like I think we're still. I mean, we're gonna inch closer like we're doing now. But real full self driving, like I don't have a steering wheel. I get in a pod and it just takes me where I want to go. That's I think at least 10 years out, probably, with some exceptions. I think these things already exist in controlled areas, right? So imagine a university campus. You could probably build this real easy because you could train it on the route that it runs. Like imagine like a little trolley just going through the campus, really slow speeds, whatever. That's easy, right? You can do that, but that's not full self-driving. That's not, autonomous vehicles. Autonomous vehicles are I got dropped in the desert in Mexico and it can figure out where to go because I, as a human, could do that. So why the hell can't the car? Like that's where I think it's so far off. And I don't know how regulators are going to respond to like cars driving 80 miles down the road, but without a person being able to even have control of it. So full self-driving, I think, is still a ways off. But now that they're at least separating certain features, I guess there's some value in it. All of those features I don't find particularly useful, honestly. That's why I still prefer Autopilot 1. It just is so much more consistent. It maybe isn't as good or does certain things, but honestly, like going from not Autopilot to Autopilot 1 is tremendous. And so I don't really see the value in it right now. Down the road, maybe, but anyone that honestly has used like navigating autopilot driving through LA knows that it's. I mean, you're on the edge of your seat the whole time because you're about to die. Like it's not something that just works flawlessly, despite what certain fanboy channels claim. Like it's nonsense when I hear that shit. That's like, oh yeah, it's perfect, and it just drives me nuts because maybe in Oklahoma on the flat roads with no other cars, it works fantastic. But that's the problem. That self-driving, there are a gazillion different kinds of driving scenarios and things you have to watch out for. And depending on where you're at, like if you've never driven in New York City, go there. And even as a human, you're nervous as hell because you don't know what's what. You don't know where you're going. You don't know how things merge. Like it's just nuts. So yeah, I'm short on the whole idea that it's coming anytime soon. I wouldn't pay for it. I did buy it on my Model Y, however, solely so I can do videos. That's really it. Also, we're probably going to keep that car for a long, long time. So, there's some variables to consider, but I think the hype around it is way overblown and not worth it. Baron Decker asks, what's your favorite YouTube channel? That's a loaded question, considering I have a lot of friends that are YouTubers. I think it's an easy one, actually. Favorite YouTube channel? I mean, I guess it just has to be Mark Rober, right? Every single video the guy does is just like the greatest video you've ever seen. So, yeah, I mean, I would put him right now as my favorite. I mean, there are lots of different folks that do different things that are amazing. Like there's this guy, Mr. Tifu, who does these primitive tool construction projects. I'm speechless when I watch him. If you guys have never seen that, he like makes this underground house and swimming pool by hand with like a little metal stick and a little like basket that it's just like, what are you even doing? It's mind blowing. So yeah, but probably like, Mark Rober goes right to the top. I mean, it depends, Then I love MKBHD and Casey Neistat and Peter McKinnon and all these kind of things, right? Actually, this question came up yesterday. It was funny because probably my favorite content creator of all time, it has to be Anthony Bourdain. And it speaks to what I was talking about earlier about what I think is great about YouTube, notably the authenticity aspect of it. And if you ever hear him talk about how, his television career has went and all of that, like last night we were watching this from Fast Company. It was like the last interview he did before he took his life. And he was saying like he would rather create failed television like that was really trying to do something novel, versus creating a what he called competent television that just worked. So a lot of people have this fear of, once you're on TV, that all you're trying to do is stay on TV. So you're doing whatever you can to kind of just, stay in your lane, be whatever they want you to be, and, continue to exist, continue to be relevant. And he rails against that and says, look, I would rather try to push boundaries and do something real and unique and fail at it and not be on TV than be one of those puppets. And so having that sense of like not caring is freedom. And it worked out for him, obviously, in his career. I think actually Rich Rebuilds, if you guys know him, I'm sure you do. When I first met him, he had that same sense of like, I was like, dude, like you gotta, do these things. And he was like, that would mean I'd have to care about this. And I think you can just see in his personality how it's came out and how he is such the manifestation of his channel is like him hit like the most entertaining parts of his personality. And he's like that in real life. Like he is the funnest guy in this space I've hung out with. And I think like that's what's special about it. So Anthony Bourdain, easily favorite content creator ever because of that, because he was able to do it at the highest level and just not give a crap about what other people wanted him to be or what other people wanted him to do. And I try to channel that as well. I mean, I think since I was a kid, I was always called a dork. I would tell jokes that no one would laugh at, but I would keep telling them and I would laugh because I thought they were funny. And it's just a thing. Like, that's why like this channel, people get all upset. You need to do this. You need to do that. It's like bullshit. I'm going to try to push boundaries and move this thing forward and make a difference in the world. And I'm going to fail along the way, like 100%. I'm going to put out content that either that doesn't do well or, is just wrong or whatever. But to me, I'm always giving it my best effort to try to do something special. That's why you see me, experiment with video formats, do different things here and there. I'm never trying to fit a mold of like what a good YouTuber is. So that's, that'll upset some people. They'll get up, but I don't care because I follow that same mindset of like, I would rather try to do something special and unique and fail than try to, do what everyone else is doing just to kind of keep your head above water. So there you go. Joshua Ponce, congrats on 200,000 subs. Keep bringing the data. Yes. Thank you, Josh. And appreciate your support, man. I mean, it's nuts. Like, it's funny. Like, I debated on this whole thing, whether even to celebrate this. I mean, the thing I hate, one thing I really rail against are what most people consider to be goals. I think goals, I have a long blog post title, very simply put, goals are bullshit. And the idea is that people have this obsession with goal setting as like that's how you define your path to fulfillment or happiness or whatever you're pursuing in your life. I completely disagree with that. I think that life is a journey. It's not like a trip where there's a start and end point. And goals are very similar in that once you achieve them, what's next? Like look at Tom Brady, for example, or let's give a better example, Michael Phelps. More gold medals in history, like best Olympian, successful Olympian ever, almost killed himself, went into deep depression after winning 8 gold medals. How do you explain that? Well, his whole life was set up for this one goal. And when he achieved that, it's like you were running a race and then you ran off of a cliff and there's nothing left. What do you do from here? So goals to me are a problem in a lot of people's minds and because it means that there's an end point. And I prefer to think of things as journeys and paths. And so I consider this a milestone. It's just another mark along the way. I am very grateful and happy about it, but by no means is this winning a thing. Uh, and in fact, even subscriber counts themselves aren't super relevant to the meaning behind why I do this, right? I mean, none of these vanity metrics really matter. Some numbers matter, like, views and things, because those are what drive revenue, and the revenue helps, open up new opportunities and pay for other things. Like it probably cost me about $1,000 to make every video. Those kind of things matter, but it's really bizarre because you see subscriber counts not exactly related to growth. You see people with millions of subscribers that get fewer views on a video than I do, and you wonder what's going on there, right? So there's a lot of like weird stuff happening on this platform. The fact that I've never like cheated and like bought subscribers or any crap like that, and that we're here, and it's just a steady stream. Like I've never really had this like viral growth. That to me makes me proud of this milestone and why I am grateful for everyone that obviously is here and supports it. But by no means do I support the idea of like, let's set a goal and then like, let's go achieve it. And then holy shit, what do we do now? Because I hate that. I think you need to think about like Simon Sinek, who's a very great, probably one of my favorite business philosophy kind of authors, has his latest book called The Infinite Game, and it really explains this concept in depth. Just go look him up. You've probably seen a TED Talk from as well. So there you go. Long rant there. Samuel Lake Labach, best Mexican food in Phoenix. Ooh, I remember when you just started. It's been amazing watching the channel grow. Thank you for watching for so long. All that. I am from Phoenix. But I honestly don't really know a great Mexican food place in Phoenix. Let me think. Where do I go in Phoenix when I go there? See, Phoenix to me is a hard one, man, because, well, first off, it's been 15 years since I moved, so I don't really know what's happening now. There's that area on Central near Camelback that has a lot going on, like what's it called? Windsor. And some of those places. So there's probably some good stuff there. Oh, my friend's restaurant, Ladera. I will send you there. His name is Colton. He is the bartender / mixologist. He's incredible at what he does. I'm a huge fan of tequila and mezcal, and so he is like, one of the experts in that. You may have even seen him in like the what is it called, the New Times, as one of like best bartenders in town. So go to Ladera, look for Colton, tell him you know me, tell him hi. He's a longtime friend from like 7th grade, back when we were just skater punks in Phoenix. So I'll say there because it's probably where I spend my most time when I go back. So. David Beal, and your attitude is why I'm here watching you. Thank you, David. I really appreciate it. It's really a bizarre world we live in where, I mean, this is why I don't really engage in comments on YouTube, because 70+% of the people watching the video are non-subscribers. A lot of the people commenting are non-subscribers, passersby, just trying to get attention, trying to be trolls, trying to whatever. So I just don't really even engage. I don't really care. I kind of consider the comment section for other folks. It's not for me. But in on top of that, if you start getting into that, then I stop having that drive to go do something special and to make a real difference. A lot of people get focused on if someone leaves a negative comment here, like, I'm for it, man, bring it, like, throw the hate. I don't care. It's engagement. Like, and I really don't, you know what I mean? I ignore it because that way I can focus on moving forward. That's really what it's at. Oh, Dan, what is up, buddy? So there you go. I'm getting your tea time at Tori next time. So, Dan, since you're here, I'll talk about you. My good friend Dan Markham from the channel What's Inside, if you guys may know, kind of a funny backstory how we met. It was through a copyright strike where I talked about his video about selling his car that got all this attention because there were bald tires on it, and it got copyright struck through the platform. And then I emailed him, and we kind of became friends that way. But Dan has been a huge mentor to me and a great help in just figuring out what to do and the path and all that stuff, as well as like introducing me to lots of folks and all that. So if any of you have no idea about him and his channel or his channels, go check him out. He posts probably more Tesla videos than anyone else at this point. And he owns a bunch of them, has had a great time. So Dan, I love you. Thank you for everything you've done to help this become a reality. So there you go. When is your Model Y coming? Tomorrow, apparently. We'll see, unless they cancel it again. Jack Pesek, have you thought about syncing your YouTube channel to LBRO library? The current YouTube situation, having your channel elsewhere is good. Nope, haven't heard of it. I don't know, maybe. I have heard. I have had different companies and people approach me asking about creating a channel on, or I don't know if it's a channel or an app on like Roku and Apple TV and those kind of things. So yeah, I've considered that. I don't know how I feel about it. Like, who was it? Clay Collins, I forget. One of these guys. So there's this great podcast from my friend Pat Flynn called Smart Passive Income, and they had some guys on there talking about it. Really rung home with me of like master one platform. Don't try to be everything to everyone. So a lot of people, I think, when you start, so let's say you're new, you want to start making content or whatever, you look and you think, crap, okay, there's Facebook, there's Instagram, there's YouTube, there's TikTok now. Maybe some people are still on Snapchat. There's Twitter. There's a blog. There's your website. There's like an endless amount of places that like you quote unquote should be posting content. And I'm just not one that has the bandwidth to do that, because each one of these platforms definitely need their own style and attention and things like that. So if you see people that are incredibly successful on Facebook, they often are not that successful on, let's say, YouTube, and vice versa. So it's very, very difficult. So what that means is that you need to have, effort into every single one of these things. And you only have so much time in the day. You only have so many hours that you can put in. I know, there's the kind of hustle porn out there, and people like Gary Vee that are like, yeah, stay up till 3 a.m. every night. But, I'm much more in the sense of like, I want to live a balanced, healthy life. And I've got kids and a wife, and I want to be there for them. And I don't want to just kill myself here to get more subscribers. I just don't think it's worth it. You know what I mean? I think giving as much effort as I can to help move this forward and to try to make a real difference in the world is what it's all about, but I'm not going to like ignore my family. I mean, I do it enough already, even trying to not do it. So yeah, so I don't know. Probably not going to be jumping over to any other platforms or do anything like that. I mean, unless Spotify wants to come over and offer me $200 million, then okay, I'll do that. But other than that, float plane YouTube without user tracking. Yeah, that's cool. Is it a pay for subscription thing? I'm not really like a lot of these things. It's an odd animal, like I think there's a lot of like, I see a lot of comments and people out there, like the consumer side of people that just mostly consume content, which is mostly everyone. There's just the as long as we're in the, as was it Russell Brand says, the auspices of capitalism, you kind of have to have a way for the transactions to work here, right? So either someone's like just paying and they get exclusive content, and that's cool. Like I have a friend, Cedric Dahl, who has this channel. It's just his name, and he talks a lot about Bitcoin and crypto. He was very, very early. Like I think he bought Bitcoin at $3 or something like that. He had this huge success, company that he built that was funded through YC, whatever. But like he has a thing now where people pay, I think it's like $300 a month or more, just to hear a podcast from him and one other guy and some other tools that they built. So yeah, like if you hate user tracking, that means that the economic model then requires that you're going to have to pay for it. But then people want everything for free. So that's the problem with a lot of these other like competing platforms, is like at some point there has to be economic sustainability in it. And I'm open to all of that. I think it's cool. I would love, imagine if you could pay for Facebook and have like zero Facebook tracking. I'm sure lots of people would do that. I'm sure, billions more would not, because they're like assume this entitled view of like it should be free somehow. I don't understand why they think that. All this stuff costs money. And so, there has to be some economic incentive for everyone. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. So yeah, it's cool if that works, but you know, unless you're paying for it, I'm not seeing how it'll work. Pampalak, thank you for the support. Hi, I love your work. What do you think about Joe Rogan's move to Spotify and what it means for YouTube? Well, it's funny. It's interesting. I think Joe Rogan is killing it, making it. I mean, it's awesome. So his podcast, I love. I can't keep up. I mean, the guy puts out 3 hours of content a day, and it's all amazing. I'm jealous of how he's able to do that. So he's moving over to Spotify exclusively for the long form version of his video podcast, which is really interesting because I didn't know Spotify did video podcasts. Cool if they start doing that. Will they try to compete with YouTube? I mean, they're still light years behind, I guess, in terms of user growth and stuff like that. So we'll see. Maybe it'll incentivize YouTube to get off their rear ends and make a dedicated podcast player, because YouTube is far better than at doing podcasts, even if it's just a static image. The three key things, and I have a podcast as well, so this is what we talk about a lot, but the three key things that are missing from traditional podcasting, like let's say you host on Libsyn or Buzzsprout or one of those, is you don't get user feedback on the episode. So likes, dislikes, comments doesn't exist. You get ratings, but those are for the overall podcast, not for an episode. There's no built-in monetization, whereas YouTube, it's just native, right? I don't even know what ads play. Some people, you can pay for YouTube Premium and not see ads, whatever. There's all these things, right? So you get feedback, you get free hosting, and you get the native ad integration. So it's a thing where like YouTube as a podcast platform is far superior than the traditional RSS feeds is essentially what it is. And for people that don't know, there is an RSS feed for every YouTube channel, and there's a thing called PodSync, where you can punch in a YouTube channel, and then you'll get a new RSS feed URL, and you can pop that into your like Apple Podcasts or whatever podcast player you use, and it'll show the actual videos inside. Like in Apple Podcasts, you can punch in my channel URL using that PodSync thing, and it will show the actual video along with the audio. So it's actually kind of cool. It already works. So Joe Rogan moving over to Spotify, great for him. Sounds like a good move for Spotify. They're really trying to capitalize on this. In fact, we at Our Ludicrous Future just switched our podcast over to Anchor. And so let me find the link if you guys aren't familiar. And I will, Anchor. What is it? Anchor.fm. Anchor.fm. Okay, I'm not logged in. Let's see if this will even work. Okay, cool. All right, so here's our podcast. I'm going to drop it in the chat for you guys so you guys can go check it out. So like we kind of switched over to Spotify as well because Spotify owns Anchor. But yeah, it's kind of cool. Like the platform is clearly better. Hopefully, I don't think it means anything negative for YouTube, but hopefully what it means for us consumers of content is YouTube comes out with a dedicated podcast app, and then life is good, because right now it sucks trying to navigate that, right? Like when you do a podcast app, things that I typically want, I think most people want, is I have several podcasts. They post daily, like news or whatever, or they post not daily but regularly. And I want them to be kind of in order of how they came in, and I want to go from one to the next to the next to the next. So imagine it's like a YouTube playlist, but it's auto-generated, like based on when people are posting. So like, yeah, I don't know if you can create that like a list of like a subscription inbox, but only certain channels, and having them show up. Like YouTube could easily do this. It's not even hard for them, I would say. Like set some interns on it for a week, and I'm sure you have it up and running in a early stage version. So all of that, like hopefully they do that, because then YouTube just dominates. Like the size and the breadth of YouTube is unmatched. So yeah, but Spotify, good for them, man. I think it actually was a great move for them. So all right. Looks like we got a question from Brian here. I won Tesla. Thoughts on Jay and Elon on Wednesday Roadster Cybertruck this Wednesday? Cool. Yeah, I think Jay Leno's awesome, man. I think I think he knows his stuff. I love when he goes on and he does these things with Franz and Elon and them. I still have never seen any of those episodes because I don't know where they air. It's like I see the trailer on YouTube and then that's it. I don't ever really see it after that. So, yeah, I don't know. There you go. All right, I got time for like one or two more questions here. So let's see where we're at. Mike D, how much revenue a year do you think the internet provides for your world? I'm not sure what you're asking me. Like how much of my business, how much of my revenue comes from online? I would say 100%, or an extremely high percentage. Because I guess the only other thing would be T-shirt sales, which I don't really do much or promote anymore. So yeah, 99.99, something like that. So if you guys aren't even familiar, I mean, so yeah, YouTube here is my full-time job. Prior to this, I was making online courses for pluralsight.com, which I was the chief data officer for a few years back. And then I also made courses at LinkedIn Learning, which was formerly Lynda. And so I've got 29 online courses. I also have my own. I'll drop a link if you guys are curious at all. Here's a free course for you if you guys want to learn how to do some dashboards and some data stuff. And then the full-blown one is if you want to become an actual like data analyst or engineer or something. I kind of prep you for that. So, oh, CNBC, is that where they post it? Yeah, I don't have regular TV, so I don't even know. I do have YouTube TV. It's probably on there somewhere. So, Floppy Pancake, great username. First off, what do you think Tesla's next vehicle is going to be? Well, I assume you mean that's not already announced. I think so. Okay, so what's coming so far? So you've got what's coming next. I don't know the order, but you got the Cybertruck, the semi-truck, and then you've got the Roadster. Those are all announced. There was that thing in China, which was like a tiny two-door, smaller, compact version of the Model 3 that came out in some drawing somewhere. That could be coming out after that. I also think, here's my speculation, and there's a lot of little clues out there, but I think Tesla's working on a more mass market appeal truck as well. Elon's hinted at it a couple times. He hinted at it very recently when asked about the size of the Cybertruck, shrinking it down to fit in a garage, whatever. But I think they're actually working on a regular truck. So my hunch is that Elon designed this one on an iPad in an afternoon, and the engineers and Franz and team took and made it what they could, and it's awesome and super cool, but it clearly doesn't speak or resemble other Teslas in any way. So I wouldn't be shocked if we find out sometime soon that Tesla has also been working and designing a more, we'll say, just user-friendly truck, a more kind of typical one. It'll still be badass and crazy like a Tesla is, but it would probably be one that a lot more people would be interested in. So yeah, that's maybe my speculation. So either that the little two-seater, or not two-seater, the two-door compact kind of smart car thing, or a different truck that we know nothing about yet. But like, for example, the Cybertruck is not called the truck. It's called the Cybertruck. Elon has hinted at it multiple times before. It doesn't look at all like any other Teslas, and it doesn't even have Tesla badging on it, so it won't even have the Tesla T on it anywhere. So, I mean, all that adds up to me like there may be a little skunkworks, maybe not skunkworks, but kind of an underground thing. Which, by the way, how is it possible that Tesla can keep all of this under wraps, meanwhile companies like OnePlus and whomever cannot keep something that you can just put in your pocket to hide under wraps? It's clearly a part of their strategy. So, there you go. Let me see, what else? Gary asks, will Jenny get her own channel? Yes, it's already out there. Man, I wish I could post a link to it because I want you guys to go subscribe. Jenny Sullins? That's it? Nope. There is a Jenny Sullins out there, but that's Jenny J. Sullins. Yeah, so we've already shot a few videos on it. What is this? Machine Gun Kelly. Man. See, so if I change who I'm logged in as, I think it'll bail. Let me see if I can go to TubeBuddy and figure it out, because I think TubeBuddy might have it. Yeah, it's out there. It's on interior design. It's coming. So, sorry. Barack Var. Odds on Tesla making a VW Golf Nissan Leaf killer 4-door smallest hatchback. Yeah, I think that's coming. I think it's coming. Elon had tweeted that they can't make it as small as they wanted. Yeah, okay. Elon tweets a lot of things. I'm not quite sure. Ginger Black setup tour. Yeah, I did. I just did that. Go check it out. It was one of those videos that YouTube didn't share with anybody. So there you go. All right, what do we got? Oh, we're just over an hour. Dang. Okay, hold on a second. Let me see if I can get Jenny's channel. There it is. Promo materials. Boom. Most recent upload, most popular. Channel page link. Boom. Okay, let's see if this works. All right, here. Go subscribe here, guys. That's Jenny's channel. Also, that way you can learn how to spell her name. Oh, did I drop down below 200? Yeah, it happens. Especially when you go live. Thoughts on the ID3 and ID4? Okay, yeah, I did this in a video recently. I think the ID3 looks great. I don't know why they're not bringing it to the States. I mean, I really want Volkswagen to succeed. They make, and they make tons and tons of cars. They're super duper important to this transition. I think that also a lot of people, or from my understanding, they're switching a lot of their factories over to make electric cars. Like, they seem to be really doing it in full earnest, and I really hope that that's true, and I really hope to see their cars. I mean, that goes for every other one. Like, that's something where you'll find other fanboy channels and me quite different, in the sense of I'm in it for the transition to sustainable energy. That's what I'm after. I don't really give a crap if that's Tesla or anyone else, which is ironically what Elon also says. But then you have all these fanboy channels that only care about Tesla succeeding. They want every other channel to go or every other car company to go out of business. It's just stupid. We need lots of car companies. Just like the smartphone world isn't just Apple. They have a tiny share of the overall smartphone deployments in the world. So it's a thing. Like, I'm for EVs. I'm for sustainable energy. I'm not for just one company owning it all. So, hey, what's up, Kevin? If you guys have mentioned my friend that does a gardening channel, there he is, Epic Gardening. You don't need to go subscribe to him because he already has a gazillion subscribers. But fine. Hi. Miss you, bud. Let's hang out soon. Okay, cool. I think I'm going to wrap up there, guys. I need to go do some family stuff. It's about lunchtime here, so the kids are getting rambunctious. The Bronxans, why ignore the Neo? Neo's out of business, I thought. They're not doing well. So there you go. Fully Charged. I love Fully Charged. I love those guys. They do great work. They're probably kind of my, in this space, someone I really admire and look up to. So, okay. Well, thank you all for joining. And yet again, don't forget, when you free the data, your mind will follow. See you back here in the next one.